Alright, this is actually my second time performing here. I came back for a few reasons. One, obviously, because you guys are awesome, the staff here are awesome. Number two, I came back for a girl. But something romantic, because last time it was my first time on stage, first time performing, and I was extremely nervous. Even after the performance, as I walked off, this really nice girl, she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Now, usually I would have, responded, started a conversation. That night, this is what happened in my head. Number one, do I know her? No. Is she the waitress? No. Holy shit, this has been quiet for too long, this is awkward. And I just walked away. I know it's douchey, so, random stranger, in case you're here tonight, I'm sorry, I apologize. What are you doing after the show? The other reason why I'm here is because the more often I come here, the more I feel comfortable telling people, oh, I'm a stand-up comedian. And that just sounds so much cooler than the average job, right? See, I'm not a good liar, I can't lie, but I'm a pretty decent exaggerator. Let me explain you the difference, okay? If, let's say, a girl met me and she's like, "Hey, what do you do?" And I go, "I work with A-list Hollywood directors." Now that would be a lie, and I wouldn't be able to say that with a straight face on. However, if at any point in time I've taken a picture besides a James Cameron poster when I went to watch Avatar in movies, then it becomes an exaggeration. And believe me, I will exaggerate the shit out of it. At the end of the night, that girl's gonna think I played the fucking iceberg in Titanic. By the way, the whole, being nervous thing, don't worry about it. I know I still seem nervous, but I learned a few tricks from a friend. He's like, if ever you get nervous, just picture the crowd naked. Because when you picture them naked, sorry, what was I talking about? By the way, I like your birthmark. Well, you have one in my head. I bet you regret sitting there now, don't you? For those of you who haven't noticed, I'm Asian. And being born and raised in China and then here, it allows me to see a lot of cultural differences. For example, before I came to Canada, I didn't know that a broom was meant to use to clean. Because that shit always used to whoop my ass. I thought that the brush part, I thought that was decoration to install fear. Every day I would come back from school, I would see it in the living room, I would bow to it, and I would go to my room and do homework. What else? Another thing is sexuality. Because China is Eastern culture, very, very conservative. Here it's a lot more open, right? And I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. One thing I'm not okay though is how young people nowadays are very explicitly, overtly sexual. When I say young, I mean kids. The other day I was on the bus, and there was these two kids sitting beside me, and they were, I would say, maximum 13-year-old, okay? And since they were right beside me, I couldn't help but overhearing the conversation. And you know what they were talking about? They were talking about how to finger a girl. I don't mean hey, fuck you, girl. I mean hey, do you want to fuck a girl? That is wrong. That is messed up, man. Isn't the whole point behind you shouldn't swear or speak profanity in public so that kids don't hear you? What the fuck do you do if they have more sexual experience than you do? I don't know how to fucking finger a girl. I just picture that the appropriate age for kids to be overtly sexual is going to become younger and younger and younger. And one day you see these 3-4-year-old toddlers just stripping on stage for money, and 7-8-year-old kids putting money tips in their diapers, It's messed up, man. By the way, guys, I just told that finger joke with my mom sitting in the crowd. Alright, let's change the subject. Let's make it more, less awkward. Alright, so, guys, let me give you advice on girl, okay? Take the advice from the guy who doesn't know how to finger a girl, but, so, whenever I go out, if I see a nice looking lady, I would, what's the expression, I would check her out, right? And by the way, girls, you got this sixth sense for checking out detection. You, even if it's behind you, above you, wherever, you sniff and you're hey, what are you looking at? Anyway, I digress. So, but whenever that happens to me, I would I would always be proud because I think I'm like a ninja, right? This is what the girl is looking at. So she's looking there, I'm checking her out. As she turns, I turn around. And I'm like, oh, hey, are you checking me out? La, 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 la. And I'd be so proud of it, right? Because like, you can't never catch me. Until one day, I was sitting on the bus. It was a different bus, not with 2 kids. And I felt this tingling sensation in my neck. So for some reason, I just turned around. And when I turned around, there was this girl checking me out. And before I could kind of bask in this comfort and flattery, like, oh my gosh, she's checking me out, I was just, drowned into shock and despair. Because remember that little thing? Well, turns out from the other side, it's more like this. It was so freaking obvious. Oh my God, I could not believe it. At that moment, I'm just standing there thinking, holy shit, for the past 18 years, and there would at least be about maybe 5 encounters like that a day. So 18 years, 365 days, a year, 5 encounters. There's like 30-something thousand girls out there who think I'm some kind of stalker creep, and I feel so embarrassed. And I'm just sitting there like, you know what? Next time something like this happens, just to remind you of this moment. Don't ever do that. Oh, who's that? Thank you guys, have been great.
Cong, everyone. Second time on stage, that was fucking